New York Times best-selling author of Redefining Darkness. Author of What Time Has Taught Me. Becoming Obsolete. Accomplished narcissist, international motivational speaker, and former pose gatekeeper. Janet Flop. In an intimate series of interviews. Redefining Janet Flop. Janet, you describe redefining as one living in their truth. Why was that such necessity for you?
It can be painful when you don't live your truth.
I don't see her. I don't like that bitch. I don't see her. Bitch, 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 I don't like you, 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 bitch.
Now I shall destroy. Bring her to me. I will demolish her instantly.
What's up, everybody? What is up? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Thank you for joining me. Today is a very special day, and I am going to get it lit. I'm really excited about this because I'm going to be giving praise and worship and thanks to my bully. Yes, you don't hear that often, but you know, I have a lot to be thankful for. If it's your first time coming to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Not only subscribe, turn on those notifications. So, let's give it up for Miss Janet Flop.
Inspiring role model for many young trans girls all around the world. What advice would you give a young girl taking hormones in hopes of looking beautiful as yourself?
Not being, shady or whatever, but, it's like some of the girls can take hormones for decades and they still resemble bricks. They're still hard.
Well, I myself, as a proud, beautiful trans woman at 51. I have been on hormones for 10 years plus.
You've been on hormones for a decade, you still look like that?
I'm about to have praise and worship today.
Come on and praise him. All right. Bless the Lord.
Today, praise and worship to my own personal Freddy Krueger. Praise and worship to my demon. Praise and worship to someone that was a confidant at one time. Actually, I don't think Q ever was a confidant. I think he was just a leech. But before we get to that, I have a bone to pick. So let's go to one of my favorite segments. Stop playing in my motherfucking face. Stop playing in my face. Stop playing in my face. Like crap in my head. Stop playing in my face. You better stop playing in my face here. Stop playing in my face. Stop playing in my face.
Sum it up, it doesn't look good for Megan Thee Stallion. Now this all took place July. Tory Lanez, Kelsey, and Megan Thee Stallion was leaving Kylie Jenner house. Now in their car, an argument broke out between Kelsey and Megan Thee Stallion. Now rumor has it that Tory Lanez was smashing Megan Thee Stallion and Kelsey. And that's how the whole argument started, which led up to allegedly Megan Thee Stallion being hit in her foot. Now when the police arrived on the scene, Megan Thee Stallion lied to the police and said that she cut her foot on glass. Now her reason for lying was it was right after the George Floyd situation and she didn't want the police to overreact.
I was in both of my feet, and thank God that the police didn't touch bones, they didn't break tendons.
Now right after telling the doctors and the police that she was cut by glass, Megan Thee Stallion took the live and said Tory Lanez popped her. Now we went from her getting cut by glass to Tory Lanez popping her. Now I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure if you get in both feet that you're not walking backwards. You're gonna be laying on that ground or you're gonna be crawling.
Yes, this Tory me. You me. Everybody in the car arguing. I'm in the front seat. This in the back seat. I get out the car, I'm done arguing. I don't want to argue no more. I get out. I'm walking away. This from out the backseat of the car started to me. You me.
So as y'all can see, her story has been changing.
This thing was a hot mess to begin with, and I'm going to tell you this. It was a hot mess because of the simple fact that if you take it all the way back to when this whole thing started, which was at Kylie Jenner's house, the ratio of men to women that was at this party was already off. As far as to my knowledge, there was Kelsey, Megan's ex-best friend. There was Megan, Kylie Jenner, and Tory Lanez. I guess this was a kickback or something. But those were the main people there. As far as anyone else, any other guys that were I didn't, you know, from all of the videos that I've seen, I haven't seen any other guys. So I'll read right there. The odds are all in the guy's favor. I'm not going to go into the details about everything. I mean, girl, if you don't know what happened with the whole Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion incident, you are living under a rock. And yeah. Megan was asked a question by Gail. Did she have sexual relationships with Tory Lanez? And this is what she gave.
A relationship with Tory Lanez, yes, that's my question.
I didn't have a sexual relationship with Tory.
So why do you think he's putting out the story that the two of you had a relationship?
Girl, Megan, stop playing in my face. Seriously. Stop playing in my face, stop playing in everybody else's face. Honey, your look says it all.
Megan, did you have a sexual relationship with Tory Lanez? Yes, that's my question.
I didn't have a sexual relationship with Tory.
Bitch, I know you fucking lying.
First of all, why are you talking? Where is Rock Nation? Where's your manager? You should not be talking this much, honey. This is going to jeopardize your case. All I'm saying is that, honey, it's the inconsistency for me, honey. Cause
Yes, this Tory me. You me. Everybody in the car arguing. I'm in the front seat. This in the back seat. I get out the car. I'm done arguing. I don't want to argue no more. I get out. I'm walking away. This from out the back seat of the car started to me.
I could have swore.
So I get out the car and it's like everything happens so fast. And all I hear is this man screaming. He said, dance. And he started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like he shot a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And I
so
was
is
so
he
scared.
in the car shooting from the car, Megan?
He is standing up over the window shooting. And I didn't even want to move. I didn't want to move too quick. Like, cause I'm like, oh my God, if I take the wrong step, I don't know if he can shoot something that's like super important. I don't know if he could shoot me and kill me. Like,
were you afraid for your life at that time?
I was really scared because I had never been shot at before. And I looked down at my feet because I wasn't even, the adrenaline is pumping so hard. I'm not sure if he hit me. Like, I feel it, but I don't understand.
So to put this in a nutshell, you know, I believe that Tory is going to get off on this. Hopefully he does get off, because I'm a fan of his music. I'm not so much of a fan of him as a person. But even I gotta call a spade a spade. And I personally feel that Kelsey was the one that was responsible for shooting her. And I think that somewhere down the line, something got mixed up. It's a whole lot of mess, honey. People's feelings begin involved. And I can understand, because, I mean, first of all, if Megan actually slept with Tory after Kelsey was talking to Tory, that's a little foul. But, you know, that's how things go. You know, when you tell your girlfriend that the nigga got some good dick. But, yeah, I think Tory's gonna get off because of lack of evidence. Because this story is just everywhere. Alright, so now I got that over with. It is time to get into Miss Janet Flop. And I think I need to smoke to this.
Janet, you are a phenomenal speaker who gets paid top dollars for your motivational speeches. What a word and motivation which you given the problematic blogger and former rapper Foxxjazell.
Trying to appeal to these black men who don't want you. And you know they don't want you because you're dark skinned. You still tripping off of some dirty ass black boys that don't want you? Some dumb ass black boys that don't want you? And just like, this bitch is still talking about this?
Well, certainly everyone falls on troubled times.
And stuff. And sometimes I'm just like, sometimes I'm surprised that she's still alive. Because at what point do you just go on about your life and accept the fact that those men don't want you? And that all the plastic surgery and the hormones and stuff that you've done to alter your body and everything, you're ugly. And you know that. And that's why you have to get on YouTube and go on these rants and complain about these men not wanting to fuck you. It's because you're ugly. But my thing is, what part of that don't you understand? How about when do you realize that you're ugly? No amount of hormones, no amount of facial feminization or reconstructive surgery is going to, it does not fix ugly, honey.
Oh my. Well, that was very motivating.
I I'm so glad. Over to full sativa now, because I tell you, when you start getting into the different grades of marijuana, honey, indica is a no-go for me if I want to be productive. It got to be sativa to start the morning off with. So, this is going to be a little bit of slightly a story time, but also a confession time. My history with Janet Flop, aka Nashawn Dion Anderson. So roughly when I was 23 and I was working at the Van Ness Prevention Division as an outreach worker, I came across Nashawn. And I was very infatuated with him, because of the fact that he would cross-dress. And this is why I have to say I give him praise and thank you, because he taught me how to cruise. Basically, how to be the thought that I am now today. But one of the things I can say about our friendship is that it was very toxic from the very beginning, because one of the things about him is that he would give me advice on something, and then I would take the advice, and if I excelled at the advice, or if I really took hold of it, or I guess excelled at the advice, he would condemn me for it later on. And there's two separate incidents that happened with. One incident happened was she would tell me how stupid I was working at this outreach job. And she was like, oh, bitch, you can make a whole lot of money if you just stop this job and put you an ad in the paper. Bitch, you're stupid. Sitting here working two weeks for $950. Bitch, you can make that in one day. So I didn't take the advice right then and there, but there was a series of events that made me come to the decision that at that time, when I was 23, that I was going to make more money being a whore than I was, working at that outreach. So in conclusion, when I excelled at, me being a whore and leaving my job, she would later on say, oh, you're so stupid. You had that nice job and you quit it, and you're just so stupid. You know how you have that inner voice, how some people have that inner voice that constantly brings them down, but it's also a voice that they, I guess, look up to and they listen to? Yeah, he was like that. That's why I say he was like my own personal Freddy Krueger. Or better yet, like having a real life, internet troll that's constantly in your ear and in your face. It's like the whole friendship was built on his ability to build me up just to tear me down and get a sick pleasure out of it. Or a friend seeing that you have a knife stuck in your back, and instead of pulling it out, they actually not only push it in more, but they throw alcohol on it and they light a lighter. And then say, oh, look at you, you're on fire and you have a knife in your back. Oh, such a shame.
Okay. And so put it in my car if you want to. It's not in your car, sir. Exactly. I bet you won't go in my car. I'm not going to do that. I bet you won't go in my car, like I said. So since you're so tough and so smart, Stanley, like I said, put it in my car. No. It will get broke. Put it in my car. Can I get the ticket, please? Like I said, put it in my car, Stanley Roberts. Thank you. Okay. Badass.
All right. You want to use your pen? Okay, sir. So by sign answer, not admission of guilt, it just promise you you're going to take care of the citation. Okay. Like I said, hold on, leave it there. Court's going to send you everything in the mail. Okay, sir. If you don't get nothing from the mail, it's their responsibility to take care of it. Court information is here. Okay.
So this is for Crime 4 News. Stanley E. Roberts.
This is for people behaving badly on Channel 4.
What about people overeating on Channel 4? Badass. How about that?
Thank you, sir. Build up your speed, answer, and safe. Drive safe, sir.
1-800 get in, chubby butt.
Have a good day.
You too, badass.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. What kind of car you drive?
Oh, by the way, the ticket is $500.
It don't matter. I can pay it. What you drive?
Oh, yeah, don't worry about what I drive.
What you drive? I bet you don't drive nothing nice. I bet you that, and you already 50-something years old. I bet you don't drive nothing nice. I bet you don't drive nothing nice. I bet you couldn't afford it if you got one, though, fat ass. All you can afford is food with your fat, lazy ass. That's why you out here videotaping. You ain't even on a real job. Why don't they have you down there filming what's going on in Oakland, all the riots and shit? They got your fat, lazy, non-relevant, non-factor ass out here filming highway patrol shit. That tells you how much you're worth.
So, mind you, this is years before I really got into the rap thing and everything. Janet Flop, Miss Nashawn. I learned a lot from her. But at the same time, I cannot take away the hurt that I got from her as well. And this is exactly how it started, because of the fact that in 2009, I had discovered that me and Nashawn had a very traumatic event that happened in our childhood that really traumatized both of us. It was a very traumatic event that happened in both of our lives, and I guess in a therapy session in 2009, I really came to grips with it.
For her. So I met her, and we used to go down to, I think at the time she was living in Long Beach. We used to go down to, we used to get snow cones on Crenshaw. We used to go to places and get soul food. She used to always walk around with this t-shirt on that said she loved Latins. And I was like, girl, ain't nothing wrong with loving Latins. Love whoever you want to love. I was like, but you look stupid. Like, and I don't think they're gonna be walking around here with a t-shirt talking about they love blacks. She stopped wearing it. And it wasn't so much about, again, not to proclaim your love for who you love, but it's like, you're that desperate? I had my first love who died in 2009. And I remember, I shared it with her, and we went by his home in LA where he lived at, by, sat at the porch and stuff. And then I'm not sure what happened. I don't remember the context of it, but she had started mocking his death, and she started mocking his death and saying that he had died from HIV or AIDS or something. She just got really, really disrespectful, and it was uncalled for. And, I'm a peace-loving person. She tried to provoke me. And so this is the reason why I'm not calling her by her name that she goes by, because she's an ox and she's an animal. And only she's an animal, this is how she references herself on her YouTube channel. Opinions, daily rants, interviews, real life circumstances, and engaging conversations from the outlook of content creative director Foxxjazell, often characterized as a problematic realist or angry, bitter trans woman with a mouthful to say. So it's my understanding too that she's had an issue, she's had, an addiction to meth. And to see her over the years, she's often going on these long rants about Black men not wanting her.
In all honesty, I mean, this lover of his was kind of like a lover in his head, because of the fact that the boy really, I mean, I think like in the love of most of that's in a lot of our lives is trans women or is gay men or is, effeminate men, we have that one love or that one person that we think is our love. And the reality is that we just hook up with this person. We share a lot of time with him, but the reality is that we hook up with this person, and it's really nothing more than that. We may share a connection with him. We may even have the same sex frequency with this person. But at the end of the day, he's on the DL, and he would, this is the type of guy that does not acknowledge you in public. I mean, barely will acknowledge you in private. You know what I'm saying? So, this lover of his had died, and he had HIV, but at the time, 2009, and I think a lot of guys that are DL, this is one of the down effects about being in the Black community, is because of the fact that when you get trade, and trade, has something like AIDS or HIV, they're not educated on the resources that are available for them. So a lot of times they suffer in silence. And this is what was happening to this guy. However, around this time, I actually, confessed to Nashawn that about this traumatic event that we both shared, in hopes that he would open up and share it with me, because I just had a feeling that he experienced it as well. And this is where everything just went left. One thing I can say about Nashawn is that he was very cutthroat. He was very cutthroat, and it was not the reaction that I was looking for. He shut me down. He told me that no one cares, and so what, move on. And I remember that's when something sparked in me. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, I can definitely say. Because it was the fact that he was so heartless about it. The fact that I had shared this intimate detail of myself with him. And I thought it was going to bring us closer as friends. And he completely, did the opposite. So I did the same thing that I learned from him to do. From years and years of watching how cold and ruthless he was. I basically took that same venom and that same ruthlessness, and I mocked his lover. And I told him the truth. And I said, your man, that you say is your man, was not your man. You're pathetic because you were chasing a man that did not want you, dead or alive. Quite interesting how Miss Janet Flop, aka Nashawn, accuse me of chasing black men that don't want me. But what I'm about to show you here, or what you're about to hear for yourself, is exactly where all this is coming from. Because you remember how she said earlier on that this was her lover and that I disrespected by my... Okay, so now you're going to see, you saw her side and you saw my side. Now here's the truth. And interesting enough, you know, the truth is going to come from her own words, her own essay detailing true events in her own personal story and obsession over this man. Quick and shine. And of course, this is Khalif, the young man that this story is all about. Everything is accurate. So see for yourself and you be the judge. This is the truth from Miss Thane's mouth herself.
I called Khalif again. Tuesday, still no answer. It was unusual for him to not call me back. I phoned at least 10 times within the week, but if you'd like to leave a message was the only response I got. Phoned Khalif again. It rang several times. A female answered. No one else ever answered his phone. She identified herself as his sister. May I speak with Khalif? I asked hesitantly. He's gone. She casually responded. When's he coming back? I questioned. I'm sorry, he's not. Confused, I paused, then angrily said, what you mean he's not? She somberly said, Khalif passed away. It was as if I was having open heart surgery without anesthesia. I then felt like my heart was vacuumed away, tossed around by sharks, and sunk to the bottom of the ocean. I was momentarily too shaken to speak, then shouted, what? See, quietly sobbing as tears streamed down my cheeks like a tropical storm, and off in my head. I knew he had a Hotmail account. I toyed around with it and asked for his nickname, and it asked for his nickname and his grandfather's occupation. After an hour, my unhealthy and unrelenting obsession with Khalif compelled me to reset the password for his email, as well for his MySpace page. For days, I felt as if drops of morphine were being pumped into my veins. His last login was February 14th. In his emails, there were tons of photos of him shining cars, sitting in Bentleys, his prize green truck, and his 30th birthday celebration, where he was bursting with joy and pride. In messages to friends and family, Khalif never spoke about his deteriorating health. For months, he had been purchasing prescription antibiotic medication online. The antibiotics came from another country, so they had to be delivered to his post office box. Khalif didn't have health insurance, and I always encouraged him to purchase some, but he shrugged it off. I wanted to visit his post office box with the hopes of retrieving his mail. The following Sunday morning, when I knew the family would be gone, I crept back by the apartment. All that was left to see in the back was a large mattress and comforter. I began to step closer for a better look, but then I noticed both items appeared to be covered with a mixture of dark red and brown stains. My lips frowned at the thought. Blood? My heart started to race with the speeds of my coming and going breaths. Studying the items, I identified that both the mattress and comforter belonged to Khalif, but I couldn't come up with the explanation for why they were discarded and stained behind his apartment. At that point, I still didn't know how he had passed. It really could have been blood, his or anyone's, but that didn't matter. The comforter came back with me. I didn't mind taking home a comforter covered in blood because it was his comforter. It was his comforter, and the one that used to keep us both warm on dozens of occasions while being intimate in his previous apartment. After I washed the comforter several times, a few stains remained. I went to sleep nightly, as though someone was pouring a 44-gallon drum of dopamine inside my head. During those nights, I had flashbacks of grabbing the pillows and letting the screams flood out, remembering the feeling of Khalif behind me, the slapping sound of his caramel skin colliding with my bronze cheeks, the hunger from both of us to go even deeper. He, too, was possessed by the same morphine-like high, wanting more of it until he collapsed inside me. Felt my decade unhealthy obsession with Khalif ending. But then my phone rang. I answered. After the caller introduced herself as Gina, my ears perked up and I sat up in the seat like I was attending my first day of class. Almost whispering, she said, I gotta tell you something. She must have been waiting for me to say something before she told me what it was, because at least 5 or 6 seconds of silence existed between us before she continued. Khalif had been sick for months and could no longer take care of our daughter. I know, he was sick from what? He couldn't work. He started to look like a skeleton, and not wanting to scare our daughter, he gave me custody and had to be hospitalized for pneumonia. I went with him, but the medication caused him to hallucinate. He checked himself out and went home. She still hadn't said why he was sick. I didn't know what to say, so I rambled. At least you were there by his side. I wish I could have taken care of him in his time of need to repay him for the compassion he showed me. There was another moment of stillness between us on the phone. I heard her sigh. When I didn't hear from him that morning, I went over to his place. His apartment felt like an oven. The heater was on and the television was playing. Another sigh. I found Khalif in his bedroom lying in a pool of dry blood. Confused, I asked, why was there blood? I thought he was sick. And it was that quiet again. I tried to ease the tension between us before it even began. Gina, I'm sorry, but I was madly in love with Khalif and I'm still obsessed with him. I just can't believe... Gina sounded annoyed now. Nishan, in a low, hesitant, emotional voice, Gina replied, his gun. Over the next few seconds, I started thinking about it. Really thinking about it. No matter what scenario my brain planned out, no matter how insignificant or vital, I came up with the same reason over and over again. He had AIDS and committed suicide. Khalif was bisexual. We were both sex addicts and initially met while we were both cruising for sex in the West Hollywood Beverly Center Mall. He was probably just as promiscuous as me, or even more so.
So, as I said in my accountability episode a couple episodes ago, I am starting to take accountability for things that I've done in the past, for trauma or pain that I may have caused. And for that, yes, Nishan, I apologize for what I said. What I said was very toxic. What I said was very disdain and very vile. But I only, you know, not to justify it, hey, I was only executing the tools that I had at the time. But what I don't apologize for, because, you know, I do apologize for that. I think that what I should have said and put all that energy towards the type of person you are. Because you can go around here and you say that I'm ugly. You can go around and make up all these rumors about me. Say I got AIDS. Say I got whatever, honey. You know. But one thing that I should have said, and one thing that I stayed true is that you are worse than any type of disease, or worse than any type of ugly that exists. You are a cancer. And you are a cancer that slowly grows in someone. And you eat away at them. You eat away at them. You're almost like an energy vampire. And this is the reason why I've been avoiding you for the last 10 years, 12 years or so. Because of the fact that, you know, you're very toxic. You are very toxic. I mean, some of the things that you've said to me in the past, I would go home in tears because of the fact that I was not able to confront the issue and I looked up to you. But today I stand before you and I am a new bitch. Yes, I am a new bitch. I'm a bitch that I guess you can say that you have given me credit for. I'm a bitch that has self-esteem. I'm a bitch that probably has way more self-esteem than you do. Because no matter what you say, I know that you're watching my videos. You sure are. You've been watching me, period. And one thing that I will not allow this new version of me is a person like you I don't have room for a person like you in my life. You know, because I'm not that same girl that I was years ago that she would go back to Danielle and talk about how stupid I was. I'm not. Come here. Yes. Yeah, come here. I'm exactly what you are, but with some jazz. You see, I can be as generous, I can be as loving as the next person, but I can be as evil as you are. So, try me, honey. Try me. Because I've learned from the best. And I've learned from you and others. And I am not the type of bitch that you want to fuck with nowadays, honey. So, keep it cute and put it on mute, honey. Because trust me, honey. Because all that negative energy that you're sending to me, all that's going to do is just go right back to you, honey. I don't have time, I don't have energy, I don't have space for someone like you in my life. Because I understand that you are a hurt person. I understand that we are all victims of victims. But I understand you, out of all people, you're a little bit more, how can I say,
deranged, mentally unstable, bipolar, delusional, ungrateful, evil. The whole mental ward at Bellevue Hospital would not be able to put you back together, honey. That's just how broken you are. Honey, you don't worry about what I have going on over here. You worry about what you got going on over there, Miss Transbrations.
Bitch, she over there looking like the Dollar Tree version of Janet Mock.
And congratulations, or should I say trans...
That's what you get when you can't afford Janet Mock. You get Janet Flock.
Transgratulations. I really do wish you the best of luck and the best all transbrations with your new endeavor. But I'm doing just good over here, honey. You know, I'm doing just good over here with my crystal meth addiction. Let you say it.
I heard she on Grindr.
You just worry about
advertising
that
transgration.
what you got going on over there, honey.
They said she advertising and saying she's 35 on her profile. The trade said that he showed up to her place. And some old ass man answered the door and he got scared. He ran off.
Sis, he must have saw her with that wig off, honey.
The wizard from Harry Potter without her makeup on. And that receding hairline.
You know she got that widow's peak, honey. Oh, that lace front can only cover so much, honey. But when she take that lace front off, honey. My family loves me, honey. As always, please, people, Stay away from some people that say that they're your friends but tear you down at every given moment. Like, subscribe, share, comment, and for some of you all, transition into something else, something human, you know, if you're even capable of that. Yeah, actually transition. Not just wearing a wig and putting a wig on your head and calling yourself non-binary or calling yourself transgender at the convenience of getting on Grindr and having a piece of trade in the dark apartment. Come into my dark apartment. Let me suck you up in the glory hole, because if I turn all these lights on, God forbid, you're gonna see
They're gonna see Janet Flop, the legendary cum dump of the Bronx. That's what they're gonna see.